Hello, everyone. Um, this question, or this what I'm about to ask, um, really is for anybody out there that is a lawyer that would understand what I'm talking about, because this case is at a very high level, and it would take a powerhouse lawyer to deal with this. So I'm going to explain something that's going on and ask if there's any lawyers out there that would know the answer to this. Could you please give me a response back, because and I know lawyers don't like to go against lawyers, and I understand that. But if something is done to you that is totally wrong, I have to do something to justify it. Make it, fix it. So here's what it is. If you followed the story, I'm in a major battle with one of the largest industrial gas companies in the country. And the person who I buy propane from, which is a different company, is somebody I've known for close to 30 years. Um, we've always got along, always had good business relationship, and besides owning his own oil and propane company and everything, he is also an attorney. Well, when all this happened to me with my company, with the company I'm dealing with, for the industrial gas end, um, I spoke with my friend that owns the propane company where I buy my propane, because like I said, he is an attorney also, and he pretty much knew a lot about what was going on with me and this company, Airgas, and he's not the type of lawyer that deals with these type of cases, but he's a very wealthy man, very educated, and I consider him to be very smart. And he told me that in order to do this, I'm going to need a powerhouse lawyer. Now, they knew this was, he knows my financial situation since this company's done to me what they did. But through him, um, he set me up with a lawyer that he knew that was considered to be and is considered to be a powerhouse lawyer. And I went up to meet with this lawyer. Now, when you get up to them levels of lawyers, it's not even really free consultations that much. But due to the fact that I was going up here on behalf of a friend of his, he let me come up and explain my situation and the story to him of what's going on without charging me anything for doing that. And when we were done, I had explained to him that if he felt at this point, because we still have plenty of time to the statute of limitation to file the suit. So I explained to him, that right now every dime to me is critical, because I had very little money left, and I'm trying to keep the store stocked up so I can still do business with everything else. So I made him understand it was crucial that if I was to, give him money up, and that he really believed that we would have a chance at getting something done with this. And after explaining everything to him, he said that he felt I had a good case, that there should be no trouble in proving this company did wrong, and we should go ahead and move forward with it. And again, I made him understand that because I was so limited on funds, that whatever money I was going to give to him was going to take away my ability to be able to buy product for the company. So I gave him a $40,000 retainer, with the understanding that he wasn't going to charge me for our conversations or when I had questions. If he had to meet with the company, or he had to do something to send letters or spend time doing that, yes, they would charge me for that type of stuff. But he wasn't going to charge me for any personal conversations between me and him, because at the rate they get, when you're talking over 1,000 an hour, um, that $40,000 would have got eaten up just in me trying to explain everything to him. So he told me that when he was doing something, such as an actual physical meeting with them or whatever, then I'd be charged. And that's not what happened. So I gave the $40,000 retainer to him, and I told my employees and my brother, look, I know this is all the money in the world we have, and we need it for inventory, but this lawyer feels if he talks to them and shows them that they really have no argument here, that we may be able to get this thing settled, and we have to do this. So against everybody else thinking I should hold off, I followed the advice of my friend who owned the propane company that sent me to this attorney and this attorney. When the attorney took my money, he was in the process of making a deal with another firm that was going to make him a bigger partner than the firm he was with, which he's with a huge firm already, but there was a deal going on and everything with another firm that was offering him, I guess, a much better partnership. But according to him, he couldn't tell me that at that time, legally. And so I gave him the retainer, and we started, having our conversations, our texts back and forth, and he did send some letters or emails to Airgas to talk to them. And we finally got one meeting with the attorney and the president and the vice president of this company. And that was Tony Simonetti, and Graham Pratt was the vice president and their attorney. And we sat and we tried to talk about what's going on, and really it was about an hour meeting, and we were getting nowhere with it. And in fact, the attorney was rude as can be. But Tony and Graham really felt for me, and said, we understand. The way this was done and what was done and how they did this to you was wrong in anybody's eyes. And I was glad to hear they felt that way. And as long as they felt that way, I thought there was a good chance they would do what was right. So as time goes on, the attorney for Airgas and my attorney decided, since me and the president of Airgas and Airgas East and the vice president, since we were the ones, that made the deal 9 years ago, and he was involved, and as I told you before, me and the president of the East Coast Division had became really good friends, to the point where we made a pact to meet every year at Christmas time and have Christmas dinner, and we just exchanged, small gifts, nothing, these gifts were like $50-$60. It was just a little something to say, hey, so there was nothing wrong there. I mean, it was just two friends meeting for dinner, and we just wanted to give each other just a little something. That's all it was, for the excitement of getting a gift. And we went on golf outings. They came to some of my, private parties, like my 50th birthday party. We threw a real big party with a catering hall and the whole 9 yards. And I had people from, Airgas there. The company I dealt with before Airgas, I was still friends with a lot of people up there. And even though I didn't deal with them anymore, I invited them. And there was some jokes made at the party because these were two rival companies now sitting at the same table together. But they got along great. They were there for my birthday, so everybody was cool. But it was kind of weird for them because on the street these guys are banging heads together, and now they're sitting next to each other having drinks and laughing. But I know so many people from this industry. It's insane. So the attorneys for me and the Airgas thought the best thing to do is have me and the president of the company sit down and have a meeting just between me and him, and sit down and see if we could come to some kind of resolution with this. So I thought it was kind of odd that they were going to have me and him sit and talk about this, but that's what they wanted to do, and I was fine with it. So that's what we did. We set up a meeting, and in fact, we did it at the Penrose Diner at 20th and Penrose in South Philadelphia, and they said it would be about a 20-minute meeting. Yeah, that's what they told him and told me. But it turned into over a 2-hour meeting, almost 2.5-hour meeting. Because at that meeting, I explained to Tony that I have lost so many friends and so much family and everything, because of me bringing something up to the company that was going on that was wrong. Once I did that, that opened up a can of worms that they were really upset, and they retaliated and cut my contracts and did all this stuff to me and destroyed me. And so many people, and like I said, you would not believe the amount of people that know me, and I'm not just talking about regular people. I mean, I know judges, I know congressmen, I know senators, I mean, the police commissioners, I mean, tons of cops, feds. I mean, I really do. I have a lot of people that I'm friends with that are in very big positions and, are very reputable people. And they felt I had to do something wrong, for this company to treat me the way they did. And I just couldn't get people to believe me that they made this decision without even having a conversation without me. I mean, like I said, we have 5.5 years left of the contract. This was the third contract they renewed for me in 9 years. And we're servicing me the same product for 9 years, And when I would say they just cut me off and everything, people would say, come on, there's got to be more to the story. There's just no way. And I noticed so much change in attitude from people that I really felt like I lost a lot of respect from people, and I didn't do nothing wrong. And it was killing me that people were just looking at me different. So when me and Tony, the president of Airgas, had this meeting, and the reason it went 2.5 hours instead of 20 minutes is because I explained to him that all the devastation I was going through with family and friends and people in big places that knew me and respected me all felt I had to do something to cause this, that people would never just do something like this to anybody. So at the meeting, I asked him, I said, Tony, we consider each other best of friends. I said, and I need your help with something. I said, this meeting we're going to have, I want to discuss exactly what happened and how I was cut off and everything, and that I was not even notified, nothing. The company did this. It had nothing to do with anything I did. I said, and I'm going to ask you as a friend, can I please record the conversation between us? Because then when I'm around family members or anybody that thought I was lying, I can let them listen to it and hear for themselves from this guy's mouth that I did nothing to cause this. I did nothing wrong. I told you, I brought up something to that company that was major and what people were dying from and different things. And they were unhappy I brought that up, and they retaliated, but people just couldn't see that really happening. So I got Tony to allow me to tape the conversation. I could have done it without even asking, okay? Because when this all started, and like I said before, this is not my first time going through somebody trying to railroad me. So when this all first started, I knew the only way I could prove anything or do anything was to tape everything that was going on. Every conversation, everybody I talked to. The only thing I could do to protect myself at this point, since I'm up against such a monster, was to tape the conversations of everything I did. Now, whether that is legal, not legal, whatever, I don't know. But my thing is, it's about getting to the truth. Okay? That's what it was for me. getting to the truth. And the one way to prove truth is to have them in their own words, listen to them speak and say what they're saying. So Tony said, yeah, he had no problem with me taping the conversation because he understood that this might help me get a lot of people who were just treating me different and looking at me different to realize I did nothing wrong here or did anything to cause this, as far as doing something wrong. So we had the meeting and we discussed exactly what the company did and how they did it and everything. And I was glad because now I can at least let the people I care about, what they think, hear that I did nothing wrong in this situation. And I had mentioned to my attorney when they set this meeting up for me and him that I was going to ask them if I could tape the conversation. And he said, that's never going to happen, Joe. This guy's never going to let you tape the conversation. And I said, well, I don't need his permission as far as I'm concerned. We're sitting in a public diner, so there's not a privacy factor there. So I don't have to ask them to do it, But out of respect for him as a friend, I didn't want to just do it. So I said, I'm going to ask for his permission. But everybody thought that wasn't going to happen. So when the meeting was over, I was supposed to call my attorney and let him know how the meeting went. And I called him, and he said, he wasn't busy, come on up. So I went up to his office, and I told him, I said, well, like I told you, me and Tony, I believe, were such tight friends, and when he knew this would help me with my family, that he would give me the permission to tape it. And he's like, don't tell me he did. I said, yes. He gave me the right to tape the whole conversation. And he was beside himself. He's like, I can't believe that. Unbelievable, And he's like, you're sure he allowed you? I said, yeah, I have it right on there asking him, does he have any problem with me taping our conversation and who he is and his name, my name, And I played that little part for him, and he's like, oh, yeah, he definitely gave you permission. I said, but Carl, I said, the one thing that's on here that's really funny, I said, during the meeting, Tony said that the attorneys for Airgas are laughing about you taking this case on. That as an attorney, as far as contract dispute, they feel that you don't know what you're doing good enough to fight their attorneys. So they were kind of laughing about him, and thought this was ridiculous. And Tony was trying to explain to me that the lawyers were enjoying this fact. But they said as a antitrust lawyer, that's where he's strong. But Carl, the attorney, my attorney, said, for me to take that approach, which I had that cold case there, I can never afford it. And they knew that. So he was trying to fight them about the way they broke the contract. And I told them, they actually laughed about that part and said, we know he's a good antitrust lawyer and all that stuff, but him trying to fight this contract, he has no idea what he's doing, and he's going to get eaten up alive, Tony said, So I had told him that, and I told him, I said, actually, their lawyers think it's a joke that you're handling this case. And he said, nah, come on, what are you trying to just get me fired up here? He said, no attorneys would do that, to say that about another attorney like that. And I said, what, you think I'm lying? He's like, well, I think you're just trying to get me fired up. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, the proof I'm not trying to get you fired up. I'll put the tape on and we'll go to the part where you can hear him saying that his attorneys were actually laughing at the fact that you're handling this case for breach of contract, that you don't know enough about this. And he said, I'd love to hear that. So I played it for him. And I did tell him that, just remember, this tape was done confidential. Because I was sure if Tony's company knew he let me tape this conversation, that common sense says they wouldn't like it. But he did this to help me try to clear my name. So if I tell my attorney about this, he contacts their attorney and says that he can't believe that they laughed and talked bad about it, badmouthed them, and who do they think they are? And they got really upset about this. And I got contacted by Airgas saying that I'm making accusations that are lies and you know, all kinds of stuff like that. And I told him, I said, hold on. How do you even know about this? Me taping this conversation. And he said, well, your attorney contacted our attorney and chewed him out a new ass and was very upset that they would do that. And supposedly you had taped the conversation and he was able to hear it for himself, so he knew it was true, not a lie. And I said, yes, I did tape the conversation. And they said, well, that wasn't legal. I said, no, I got permission from Tony to do this. I said, this wasn't supposed to happen like this. I said, you guys should never even do this happen. Me telling my attorney that was in confidence, okay? Never expecting him to contact the attorney and tell them about the conversation and me taping it and everything. So they didn't believe me, So they said, we'll get right back to you. And they went to Tony and they asked Tony that he allowed me to tape the conversation. And he told the truth. He said, yeah, I did. He says, but, I did that to try to help him try to clear his name because he's getting a lot of bad rep for something he didn't do. Well, they didn't care about that at all. They got furious. So Tony contacted me and said, I can't believe you did this to me. And I said, Tony, I didn't do nothing. I said, I didn't say nothing to Airgas. I didn't bring this up to Airgas. I said, my attorney, after I met with you, of course, was waiting to hear how the meeting went, and I had explained what I did, but I expected him to keep that between us in confidence, Never expected him to contact your legal department and shoot him out for laughing about it. I said, I am so sorry that this got out because I'm sure your company's not going to be happy that you allowed me to do that, and I hope this doesn't create a lot of problems for you. Well, it did, and he was fired. And the two allies I had up there, well, actually I had several people up there that were really speaking up on my behalf after this all happened. But as long as I had Tony in my corner and Graham and the plant manager and a couple other people working up there that were in my corner kind of arguing, with the company over the way they did this was wrong. And, these people really liked me and they know that this just wiped me and my family and my business out. And they were the only allies I had up there that hopefully they would be able to convince Airgas's legal department to stop doing what they're doing and turn this, and do the right thing. But after this happened with the recording, Tony got fired, and everybody else that was on my side and speaking up for me stopped. Everybody was afraid for their job, so now I'm told by the company that I am not allowed to speak to anybody up there anymore in any way, shape, or form. And they cut all communications and said everything has to be done between our attorneys, and that's it. No more contacting them. I go up to meet with the attorney, my attorney, Carl, and because he had asked me to come up. And when I go up to talk with him, he said, I just want you to know, he said, I couldn't tell you this legally when you came up to talk to me in the beginning, but I'm in negotiation with another major firm, and I'm going to be switching firms. So I'm going to be leaving here, going to the other firm, and you can either stay with this firm or you can come with me to the new firm. And I said, well, Carl, you're the guy I chose to be my lawyer, so wherever you go, I'm going to go too. So I get a letter from the law firm he's currently working at, and on there is a rundown of my money, because I told him that I was going to be getting my money back, that I was going to switch to the other company. And when they sent me the bill, they took just about all the money. I got back 4,000 or 3,800 out of the 40,000. And I said, how the hell could that be? We had one meeting for 1 hour with the company. And then they send me all these documentation of all the phone calls and texts and stuff between me and Carl. And they billed me for all that. And I told them, I said, no, I was told in the beginning that everything that went on between me and Carl, getting him up to speed, would not be being billed for. They would only bill me when he was actually, like when we went to the meeting or actually had to do something with them, So they ate the $40,000 up just about. So I called Carl and I said, Carl, what's going on? I was going to get my money back to switch over to the new firm with you, and they took $36,000 of the $40,000. I said, you spent 1 hour, one meeting. I said, we weren't supposed to be billing me for all this other stuff. That's the way you were helping me. And he said, well, this is what the company did. Yeah. And I was upset that they burned all that money up, and I didn't realize they were. So he says to me, well, I'm with the new firm now, and if you want to come over here, no big, that's fine. He goes, but again, of course, with the new firm, you got to sign a new contract, and we're going to need another, $30,000 or $40,000 retainer. And I was like, what are you talking about? How am I going to ever come up with another retainer like that? I said, if you were in the middle of doing this, why didn't you just say, look, you do have a good case here, but for reasons or whatever I can't tell you right now, we need to sit and just wait a little bit more. Because like I said, there was no rush in doing this. We had plenty of time to file and do this. And I said, why wouldn't you? He said, well, I couldn't tell you legally that I was in the middle of a negotiation of switching firms and this, that. I said, fine. Then why didn't you just say, since you're the guy that's supposed to be protecting me through our friend, why didn't you just say, right now there's something going on that will cause problems? So I understand your case now, but let's hold off a little bit because I got something going on. And as soon as that's done, we can meet again and talk about getting this thing started. And I said, you didn't do that. You kept that hidden from me because you had to, I guess. But you took all the money, and now you want me to give you another retainer for the same amount. You knew I scraped the bottom of every barrel to come up with that money. How am I ever going to come up with a retainer? And he said, well, the new firm without a retainer, of that, at least that amount, is not going to be able to do anything. So now I'm left with no attorney. The money I needed to buy inventory for my stock to keep the store somewhat going was gone because I gave it to them, thinking, well, something good was going to come out of it, so I took to, do what I had to do. So my question is this. This attorney, as far as I'm concerned, by contacting the other attorneys and telling them about this private conversation between me and Tony and me taping it, they cost me the only allies I had up there, the only people that were really out to help me. And I don't think what he did was legal. I think it was under the Bar Association or legal that he broke the law of the client attorney privilege. I mean, he gave privileged information that I gave him to the company because he was upset about what they did, but in process, he screwed me over royally, and then he leaves and he's not no more my attorney. And the money that I desperately needed to keep going was all used. So, as I told you, I have an attorney that's trying to do whatever he can, and this is a lifelong friendship. My parents and his parents and the Finos here in Philadelphia are very, very well known. The father was a judge for 40-some years. The sister's a judge. Their whole family's in politics and legal. So they're pretty big shots in Philadelphia, but they're not at the level you need to be for the type of case I have. The type of case I have is, like I said, is huge. But they're doing everything they can to try to help me fight this company. and they're paying for everything. And I don't know how to thank these people enough. But like I said, my question is, did this lawyer break a legal binding thing with us? And do I have any right to go to the Bar Association or do anything to get my money back from this attorney? Because as far as I'm concerned, he not only wrecked my only chance I had of having an ally up there, but he ripped me off for the money too. So if you have an answer to that, I'd appreciate a response. Is this something I can go to the Bar Association with and explain and have him reprimanded for, as far as I'm concerned, breaking, the privacy between us, and possibly get my money back from him because he really did nothing to earn that money. So if you know about this and how it works, I would appreciate somebody let me know how to deal with this. Thank you, and take care of each other, and God bless everybody out there. And I don't know what's going to happen with this now. All I know is my friends are doing their best, but this company is laughing at them too, because like I said, they're nowhere near the level of lawyers for that particular thing, and they know that, so they're laughing at the Definos that are out me. They're laughing at that too. So if you have any answers for that, I'd appreciate some help in finding out what my rights are there. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening, and hopefully I'll get some people that will give me some good advice on this. I just got so much going on that I don't know what to do anymore. All right. Thanks for listening again.